Good morning, church. It is a pleasure to be in your company. If we go to Africa, we find famine and starvation in select nations. There is a nation, Russia, which resides in Europe. They are at war with Ukraine. People are dying everywhere, every day. Maui is currently experiencing fires. Global warming is affecting animal populations. The reservoirs are drying out, and polar bears are turning to water that was once a visible ice structure. Drugs run rampant throughout the world. Every continent in the world experiences the casualties, strain, hopelessness, and fear that the coronavirus left. And it is still, but not as prevalent as it was before. Every time we look at the news, the unexpected debate of suicide has increased, and children's suicides and adult suicides has increased. We begin to see the depth and the height of why we face trial and tribulations as hearts grow colder. Disappointment settles upon our hearts because we live in a world of chaos. Nevertheless, Jesus came that we may have life and life more abundantly. We are the sheep in his pasture and the apple of his eye. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. He with not there hath no temptation taking you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way of escape, that ye may be able to bear it. The scriptures also tell us that there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. The reason why our world is in so much disarray is because when we had chances to stand for God, that his will prevail, we may have lacked integrity. It seems as though people are more skilled at doing evil than doing good. But we have a remedy today. Today we gain understanding. Today we take ground for the kingdom with weapons that are not carnal. First and foremost, we are to rejoice always. This may seem counterintuitive to the grieving process, but one of the stages of grief is anger. By rejoicing, we will not be subjected to that root of bitterness that lays hold on many of our hearts, thanking God in advance for the work he is doing in us and our lives. May the joy of the Lord be our strength. So, beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice, inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. So let's let patience have her perfect work. This work of patience in the midst of our suffering brings about the glory of God in us. It makes us perfect and it makes us complete because we are being conformed to the image of his Son, because we learn obedience through suffering. Jesus wanted the will of the Father and did only the will of the Father. May the Son of God be revealed in us through suffering that we may walk in the good works ordained for us and triumph in the work of his hands. May the goodness of God be upon us all. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 through 30. His yoke is easy and his burden is light. Won't you cast your burdens and your cares upon him today? Jesus bears the weight of humanity's sin. John chapter 3, verse 16 through 17 says, For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him. Thank you for listening. Good night.